given the other team a little bit of momentum, a little bit of life. You saw it a little bit yesterday with Team Slovakia, who had a good power play, and I think that it's going to be even more imperative today against the Czechs.
The U.S. has started quick in all 3 of their games. Last night, in the first minute, they bang one home. So the U.S. wants to do the same thing. For the first time in the tournament, they're going to be wearing the blue jerseys.
And I love these blue jerseys with the USA going diagonal across the chest and the USA logo patch on the upper left portion. It's a great look. The team in blue against the team in white from the Cechia.
This is the third time this tournament has been played in the United States. The U.S. undefeated in the previous 2 tournaments in Plano, Texas and Ann Arbor, Michigan. The U.S. undefeated in this tournament so far, and they certainly want to keep that perfect record going, go 3 for 3 on home ice, and win their 2nd consecutive 5 Nations title.
Yeah, last year was in Visp, Switzerland, where they were able to claim the title. A totally new roster. This consists of 2006 birth years, and it's been a great 06 class for Team USA. They're getting the chance to represent their country for the first time, and they're hoping by the end of the night they will be hoisting the trophy for the U.S.
Caleb Hale will get the start and goal for Team USA tonight. At the other end of the ice, it will be Samuel Kowalczyk. Kowalczyk played very well in his previous start, and it could be a goaltender battle at least early on.
Well, Caleb Hale, a couple of days ago when he got the start against the Swiss, had to make some really good saves. There was a Swiss team that came out hungry after losing a close battle against the Czechs. And on the other side, Kowalczyk, he knows that he's got to be the best player on the ice for the Czechs, no doubt, because Team USA, all 4 lines can get involved in the scoring, and the defensemen have been very active in the offense. So there's really no weak spot in this Team USA offensive side.
The Czechs know they have an opportunity here tonight to do something that no one has done in this tournament, and that is beat the U.S. in the United States. On the other side of the token, the Americans know they've never lost here at home, so that's confidence, but it's also a bit of pressure.
But I think it's pressure that Team USA wants.
No question about that. You'd love to have that pressure. And right out of the gate, we've got our first hit of the night as Andrew De La Salle takes a bump at center ice. The puck deep in the Cechia zone. Galvas loses the puck. And now here comes Cechia on the attack. Kubiesa up the right side. Feeds it into the slot. Pass broken up. And Team USA will play it up to center ice, and puck was played with a high stick, and that'll stop play. We get our first whistle 34 seconds into the game.
Well, we knew the Czechs would need to play a heavy game, and on the first shift, about 10 seconds in, they play the body right at center ice and get themselves involved.
Cechia wins the face-off, and they'll send it the length of the ice. That will be an icing call here. And it could be a little bit of a chess match early on as both teams try to get a sense for how the other team is going to play. But once these 2 teams settle in, I think we're going to be treated to quite a game, and really nice crowd in the building tonight.
Yeah, it is a nice crowd. The last couple of nights have been full of Team USA fans and fans from other countries as well that have made the trip.
Here is Cechia, pass over to Tittlebach, and he scores. Perfect feed on the 2-on-1, and Team Cechia strikes 56 seconds into the game. Tittlebach from crawl, and just like that, Team Cechia with the early lead.
It was a 2-on-1 for the Czechs, and Alex Bales was playing in the middle. Well, he turned to the left and had no eyes on the back door, so it was a little bit of a guessing game of where Tittlebach was going to be on the back door. He needed to keep his eyes on him and look that way, then take away the stick.
So Adam Tittlebach with the goal to put Cechia on top 1-0 in the first minute. Lukáš Král gets the lone assist on the Tittlebach goal. And the Czechs showed some speed there in transition and capitalized. Here's a chance for the U.S. as jumping into the play. The shot stopped, and we'll get a face-off in the Cechia zone.
Great pass out in front and a deflection in front of the net that sent it into the netting. Now it'll be how they respond, because they have dominated every game so far this tournament, and it's been early on. They haven't had to face a deficit. So how are they going to respond to being down 1-0 early?
Exactly. They have not trailed in the tournament to this point, but they fall behind in the first minute. In the de facto title game, it's not de facto, it is a facto. This is for the title. And Cechia will send the puck into the U.S. zone, but it's going to be another icing call against Team Cechia. Face-off's always important, so Dan Jablonski's team needs to be strong on the face-off dot.
Yeah, it would be nice with this top line going out with Swanson, View, and De La Sala, and McLaughlin with Bales on the point after a couple icings win this face-off cleanly. They do it just a little bit out of reach of McLaughlin.
So McLaughlin goes after, but he's beaten to the puck, and we're going to get a penalty call here as Spilka beat McLaughlin to the puck and had a scoring chance, but he was hauled down. And Bales will go to the box.
Well, Spilka going in against McLaughlin, and McLaughlin thought the puck was a little bit closer to him, and so he just tried to box Spilka out. Well, Spilka jumped right around him, got the puck, and Bales, we talked about discipline, but that wasn't an undisciplined penalty from Bales. It was a necessary one that, you know, instead of a tap-in goal potentially, you're okay with taking that penalty. But it was the steps leading up to it that you wish would have been a little bit of a different circumstance.
Critical point in the game for Team USA. You hate to say that just 2 minutes in, but a power play for Cechia. They're 30% on the power play for the tournament. You don't want to fall behind by a couple of goals early. And Williams Hellers takes the puck, and he'll just swing at the length of the ice.
Yeah, that's what's going to be key, is making the Czechs go all 200 feet. So getting those clears all the way down, being smart on your pinches, and being structured in the D zone.
Klima carries into the zone. He'll leave it for Tepley. Tepley hands it off for Benek. Benek gets it back to the line. Svozil to Zielinski. Zielinski along the left wing boards. Cross-ice pass broken up, and now Swanson pushes it ahead, and with speed moving forward. Chance for the U.S. Shot to goal! Short-handed goal, John Stout. The defenseman joins the rush, and he puts it between the legs of Kowalczyk. The U.S. ties it up at 1.
Well, we just talked about it being a critical point for Team USA, and that was really supposed to be for killing the penalty, not necessarily getting a shorthanded goal. Swanson bumps it up to Stout. Stout, he fights off a couple of Czech players, and then that last Czech player diving, he kind of hits that puck and makes it difficult for Kowalczyk to get it 5-hole. Now that player that dove down,
that's Zielinski, who's hurt, and he's favoring his right leg, not putting any weight on it whatsoever.
Yeah, he dove to try to knock the puck away from Stout, and then just kept going and crashed right into the boards. Here's another look at the goal. So here's Stout. Zielinski's diving, and then, oh man, he could not stop himself, and all that momentum going puts him right into the boards, and you hope that he's okay.
Alish Zielinski shaken up, but a big shorthanded effort, and it's not often you see a defenseman score a shorthanded goal, but we just saw it, and you saw the speed of John Stout as he got himself ahead of Max Swanson, and that's not easy to do.
Not at all.
So it's a 1-1 game, but still 38 seconds remaining in the Cechia power play. So we wondered how the U.S. would respond. Well, we got a good answer there. Andre Koss circles back at his own blue line. 20 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Koss flips it off the glass on the right side. Stout will take it. He will drive it the length of the ice. Kowalczyk gets it over to Jiricek. Jiricek for Cechia as the penalty time expires. The U.S. Bales is out of the box. Hale has trouble with the puck behind his own net. And then Hale gets knocked down. And we're going to get a penalty call here. Or no, the puck was lifted into the U.S. bench.
Yeah, I think the fans in the stands wanted a penalty call, and it probably should have been a call behind the play. Hale got taken down. From a 16-year-old, that's an area, an aspect of the game that makes you valuable more and more as you move up the ranks.
The face-off right in front of the USA bench. Aiden Park out there for the face-off, but Glass wins the draw for Cechia. Puck batted into the U.S. zone. And it's quickly cleared by Cornforth. He'll get it cross ice, and now here is Park. Park puts it out front, shot, save, and the Cechia net is knocked from its moorings, and that will stop play.
They're putting the face-off outside, so you must have said that a U.S. player knocked the Czech player into the net.
Four and a half minutes gone here in the first period. 1-1 game.
Here's a replay, and yeah, Bales, he got tangled up with that Czech player and maybe knocked him down. So
face-off win for Max Swanson, whose dad brought his college hockey here in Colorado Springs for Colorado College. Didn't play in this building because this building's only a year old, not even a year old.
And I was talking to somebody yesterday who watched Brian Swanson play, and they said for as fast as Mac is, and he is fast, Brian was probably faster, which is kind of incredible to say.
Yeah, Brian Swanson, you know, those were the days when Colorado College had as fast a team as there was in the country. And Swanson was one of the great scorers in the history of Colorado College hockey.
Over 200 points for Colorado College.
And that's a bygone era in college hockey. No one comes close to 200 points in a four-year career anymore. If you can get to 120 points, you've done something.
Absolutely.
Now Yuri Klima gains the U.S. zone. Sent back to the line, long shot through a screen. Libiger let go with that shot, but it was steered aside by Hale. And the U.S. player pulled down over on the far side. That was Park. Thought a penalty might be called, but nothing coming. Now Galvas puts down along mid-boards left side. The defenseman loves to dangle with the puck for Team Cechia. And Galvas knocked off the puck, and Cornforth will play it off the skate of Bennick out to center ice.
Team USA can't get frustrated if calls don't go their way, and they think they should. The Czechs are going to come at them. They're going to lay the body on them, but don't get off your game if a penalty is not called.
Cornforth sends a pass a little too far. Well, actually, a lot too far. for anybody in a blue U.S. jersey, and that causes the icing. And the faceoff will be to the right of Caleb Hale from Victoria, Minnesota. Stefanik wins the draw and the U.S. controls. Stout with the puck behind his own net. He has the lone U.S. goal. It came on the power play. Stout from Minnetonka, Minnesota. And there will be no icing as it's sent in, but off the stick of one of the USA players. And now USA having trouble with the puck. Here's Tittlebach. Tittlebach throws it right through the goal mouth. But Koss was tied up, and now here comes Team USA on the attack. McCausland down the right side. Drops it back. Stout shovels it into the slot. Now centering pass broken up. Carcone had a chance at it, but couldn't get his stick on it, and it will be cleared back down into the U.S. zone. 7 minutes gone in the first period. 1-1 game. Corey Pittner now. He will charge across center ice and into the Cechia zone. He will slide it behind the net. Curran plays it over to the far boards. It's airmailed out into the neutral zone. And flipped into the U.S. end, and we're going to get a penalty call here.
And I'm not sure about that. In real time, it looked like Pittner played a good check. We'll get a good look here. Maybe he did get that left leg out a little bit, but it was close. I will say that probably should have stayed back a little bit because he had Brown coming and tracking, so he didn't need to go forward like that. But the U.S. will have to kill off the penalty. They did a great job of killing off the penalty last time and got even rewarded even more.
So the second penalty of the game against both penalties going against defensemen. So Pittner in the box for the next 2 or less.
Corey Pittner, 2-minute minor for tripping. Time of the penalty, 7:23.
Here comes Team Cechia on the attack. Jiricek will dump it in behind the U.S. net. McLaughlin plays it up the boards and down into the Cechia zone. 1-1 game. And a pass broken up by Swanson.
Nice read by Swanson. He was waiting out. He knew he was going to be the first forechecker in. They have a little 1-3 type forecheck, and it allows the forwards to switch who's swinging.
Now Bennett negates the icing as he got below the face-off dots first for Cechia. Now Svozil hands it off to Tepley. 55 seconds left in the Cechia power play. Bennett gives it to Tepley. Tepley out front to Svozil. His blast goes wide of the net. Kept in by Zielinski over at the right point. Good to see that he's back on the ice after getting shaken up after the Stout goal. Zielinski gives it over to Svozil. Svozil back over to Zielinski. Zielinski working over toward the boards. Plays it down the wall. Pass goes off his stick. And then it's cleared out of play. Klima couldn't handle the pass cleanly, but then the puck lifted out of play, and
they're saying that that went clean over the glass and not deflected. I thought that it was deflected, so Stout will get a delay of game call. I'd like to see a replay if there is one of that angle, but Stout, I know the puck was rolling on his stick a little bit. There were some sticks in the area, so a tough task nonetheless for Team USA. 5-on-3 for 26 seconds.
8:52 the time of the Stout penalty. And as Kyle just mentioned, a 5-on-3 power play for Cechia. in a 1-1 game.
Penalty to number 23, John Scout.
Where you run a triangle.
Tittlebach feeds it deep on the right side. Now Tittlebach gets a pass, feeds it right out in front. It pinballs around off some sticks and legs. And the U.S. able to clear, and that will wipe out the Pittner penalty. So the U.S. down just one skater here. Here's Juracek cutting through to the defense. Tried to hit a trailer, but no one was there in time.
Juracek should have shot that.
Here's Tittlebach with a shot that deflects wide of the net. Galvas. He lets go with a shot that's the goal. Koss. Over to the right side. It comes back to Galvas. Down low. Koss feeds it through the goal mouth. Now Juracek with a shot. That's stopped by Hale, and he'll hold on. With 1:03 remaining in the period, in the power play. And Kyle, we talked about the U.S. avoiding taking penalties, and we're not even halfway through the first period, and they've already taken 3.
And this was a great save by Caleb Hale on the penalty kill. He was out front, didn't know where the puck was at first. Did a nice push over to get his body against the post. But you're right, Ken. 3 penalties in the first period is not how the U.S. wanted to start, especially against this power play.
Tepley sends it over to the right side. Back to the point. Now Svoza walks it down the right wing boards over to Yuri Klima. Klima hands it off for Zelensky. Zelensky's shot blocked, and it's going to be clear. Right in on Kowalczyk, and we're down to half a minute remaining in the Cechia power play.
Last 2 games, the U.S. has done a really nice job of getting those 200-foot clears.
Bennett stripped of the puck. Swept hard around the boards by Chase Stefanik, and it will be pitchfork down the ice in on Kowalczyk again. You also like when that puck rolls in on the opponent, the opposing goaltender. Make him play it. It slows things down just a bit. More times than not. And Stout is now out of the box, so the U.S. is back to full strength. 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Cechia keeps the puck in the zone. Long shot through a screen. Hale makes the stop. Kobiesa gets it over to Curran. Curran. Cross ice pass to Helinski. Helinski with a long wrist shot again through a screen. Hale saw it and knocked it down. Bobby Bartel chips it up to the blue line, gets some help from Stefanik, and Stefanik gets it ahead of Bartel. Bartel deep in the right corner of the Cechia zone. Puck squirts loose, and Cechia takes over, and they'll send it out to center ice. Pilgrim over to the right side. Bales pushes it in deep. Bales goes tumbling down to the ice behind the net. Risto gets it over to the near side. Park in the right corner. Aiden Park leaves it there for Risto. Risto can't do much with it. And here comes Dranchak for Cechia. He'll get it to Spilka. Spilka's shot goes off the right skate of Hale, and the U.S. will lift it out to center ice. Loose puck at center, and it's dumped in by Laughlin. 7.5 minutes to play in the first period. It's a 1-1 game. Shots in 3 in favor of Cechia. They've had 3 power plays to help them in that area. Now here's Stout, who has the lone U.S. goal. It came on the power play. Puck's taken away from him, and Cechia with numbers coming back the other way. Koss will drop it back for Kral, but Kral couldn't handle it. Now a long feed intended for Cornford. He'll chase it down in the right corner. But it's taken off his stick, at least for the moment. And it will be lifted down into the U.S. zone. Stout settles down a rolling puck. And it's center ice. It's Risto sending it back, and make that Cornforth sending it back, and now the U.S. trying to establish the zone. Zellers slides it behind the net. Cornforth keeps it alive. It'll come back to the line. Pittner to Zellers. Zellers the leading goal scorer. Here's a penalty call coming here against Cechia, And a wrist shot from Cornforth sails over the net. Delayed penalty call. And Tittlebach will touch up in the first penalty of the game called against Team Cechia. It's going to be a hook at 13:41.
That's where the speed of the U.S. really came to play, earning that power play. As Cornforth was coming off the boards, they just couldn't catch up with them. And for the U.S., they want to be able to establish their 5-on-5 game because they've been the best 5-on-5 team in this tournament and clearly one of the fastest. As we get a little break in the action, and they'll get an opportunity to draw up some power plays. Now, the power play has not been great for Team USA. They got one late in the game yesterday, and they started to play better on the power play. So yesterday's game, yeah, it was an 8-2 game. In the third period, really trying to establish those good habits and become crisper on the power play, which I thought that they did. And we'll see if that translates to today.
So the first power play of the game coming up for Team USA. In the tournament, the United States is 3 of 14 with the man advantage. Cechia 7 of 10 on the penalty kill. And just sitting right down below us here in the media center is Team Germany, and they like the Colorado College baseball hats.
Yeah.
There's about 10 of them that have purchased the Colorado College hats. As you get a look at the young men right there.
Credit to Germany for winning that game against the Swiss, and you know, they talked about continuing to develop throughout the tournament. There was a shot of the Swiss team that won today. They got their first win of the tournament earlier in the afternoon.
So the U.S. on the power play for the first time tonight. They'll win the face-off in the Cechia zone. Bales to McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets it over to Swanson. Puck comes right out in front. A shot is blocked. And a race for the puck. 4 players go down to the ice, but Cechia is able to get it out. So the U.S. needs to regroup. Swanson takes a big hit over on the far boards. That was a hit up high, and Swanson is hurt. Now Swanson was going down, and the officials are going to talk about it here.
It was right up against the boards. Swanson is clutching the upper part of his body. His athletic trainer, Kevin Margarucci, goes out to check on him. So the official still conferring there. The U.S., regardless of what happened, will still stay on the power play, but Swanson's one of the most dynamic players on this Team USA team. They run the power play through him on his strong side, where he'll get the puck and then he kind of makes the decision, okay, am I going to attack and pass back to De La Sala in the slot? Am I going to pass down to the goal line? And Swanson is getting up right now and skating back to the bench, so good to see him getting up, but they'll certainly check on him.
He seems to still be in a fair bit of discomfort. Not sure whether it's his right arm or left arm that is causing him the discomfort, as he's bent over as he gets to the bench, and he'll head back into the training room where he'll get the attention that he needs. And the physiotherapy facilities here at Robson Arena are second to none. And Dan Jablonski talking with one of the officials here, trying to get an explanation as to why there wasn't a penalty called.
And Jablonic with his staff of Nick Oliver, Jimmy Mullen, Zach Sizek, Tim Saratori, Bill McClellan, Dr. Dennis Sullivan, Jason Smits, along with Kevin Margarucci, and then the GM of the team is Rich Hansen. They've done a good job of putting this team together and getting them to gel in a quick tournament.
Still a minute 25 remaining in the U.S. power play. Pittner sends it and gives chase. He gets there first. But the puck is knocked away from Zellers, and it will come all the way back down to Heil. Heil will send it ahead to the Cechia line. Taken by Team Cechia, and they'll clear it back to the U.S. zone. Now Cornforth carries it across center red. He'll swing it in behind the Cechia net. Kowalczyk plays it around the boards. Pittner keeps it into the left point. Zellers plays it off the boards, but it's sent out into the neutral zone. Still 50 seconds remaining on the power play. Gubiesa relentless on the forecheck, almost stole the puck for Team Cechia. Jiricek along the boards in his own zone, along the near side, worked free by the U.S. Now McLaughlin gets it over to Stout. Stout with a long wrist shot. That goes wide of the net. Stout might be the most impressive of the blue liners on this U.S. squad. And here's a centering pass right through the goal mouth by Zellers.
He just handcuffed Aiden Park a little bit. He was right back there, but it went right towards his skates, so you have to try to move your stick in between. It's an awkward movement, and couldn't quite contain it.
Both teams are at even strength.
Cechia has killed off the penalty, so they're at even strength. Send it into the U.S. zone. Just about 4 minutes to play in the period. Tittelbach with a near steal of a pass. Stefanik will slide it into the Czechia zone. Dranchak sends it off the end boards behind his net, but the puck is lifted out of play, and we're going to get a penalty call here against Cechia for delay of game.
Zielinski, he put it over the boards, and he was shaking his head immediately, not because he disagreed with the call, but because he was upset with himself that puck rolled on him. So the U.S. will get another opportunity on the power play. The Czechs were very aggressive on their penalty kill. U.S. needs to move the puck a little bit quicker, make those crisp passes, and we'll see what they can do. De La Sala with Stefanik and Pilgrim.
I'll tell you, Kyle, I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the delay of game rule at this level of the sport. But here is Gubiesa shorthanded, pushing it deep into the U.S. zone. And here comes the U.S. on the attack. De La Sala pushes it behind the net. Tries to get it back to Stout. Stout pinches in but can't control it. Now the U.S. setting up. Zellers put it down into the right corner. Now Stout. Let's go with a wrist shot. Save. Rebound loose out in front, and it's lifted over the net. U.S. pressuring here as Pilgrim gets it over to the left wing boards. 1:05 left in the power play. Andrew De La Sala, who had a great game last night. Now Stout with a wrist shot that goes off a leg. Taken by Pittner. Pittner, top of the slot, long shot. Smothered by Kowalczyk, and he'll hold on. The reason I don't like the penalty, the delay of game rule, is that if you don't have uniform glass across the landscape, it's a different standard wherever you go. And I think these kids at this level, you're holding them to a pretty high standard with that rule.
Using the IHF rules, which they would play at international levels moving forward. So in this case, if you're a USA fan, you love the rule.
Well,
but earlier in the first, you didn't like it when Stout put it over the glass.
You know, my point of reference is U.S. college hockey, and that rule is not in the books for U.S. college hockey because there's no uniform standard for how high the glass is along the sides and even behind the nets for that matter. Now McLaughlin spins it over to the right side. Aiden Park. 4 seconds left in the power play. Shot from deep in the left circle. Stefanik. His shot is eaten up by Kowalczyk.
A good pass from Aiden Park. And a little too hard to one time, but hard to get it through that area. Now, the U.S., they have to be aware. 2 seconds left. If the Czechs are able to win this, then Julian Brown or Alex Bales has to be aware of Zielinski coming out of the box.
1:53 left in the period. It's a 1-1 game. And Team USA wins the draw. Brown had trouble with it for a moment, regathered control, and then played it around the boards. Chechia's back at full strength. Big hit behind the net. And we're going to get a penalty call here against the U.S. They're going to call charging.
And I don't agree with that call at all. Cornforth was going toward the puck, and he just made a good hit. So the puck's going behind. Cornforth doesn't leave his feet, goes right through the chest. And that's not a great call.
I think that whistle was blown because of the ferocity of the hit, and not because it was, you know, and the difficult thing was the referee that made the call was at the opposite blue line.
Yeah, and he was looking from center ice. And of course, once the hand goes up, then he's got to make the call, but that was a tough one.
So Cechia on the power play will extend into the second period if the U.S. penalty killers do their job. And here's a steal by McCausland. McCausland, shorthanded, lost the handle on it before he could get a shot off. Fourth power play of the first period for Cechia. And the puck goes in behind the U.S. net. Hale plays it around the boards. Galvas has it inside the line. 1 minute to play in the period. Pass comes through the slot. Here's Juracek with a blast save by rebound was initially. Now Galvas gets it over to the right side. Tittlebach feeds it down low. Feed through the slot. Made it through to Kral. Kral put it back the other way, but was mishandled. Now Koss gives it over to Tittlebach. Down low Koss. Feeds it right through the goal mouth. Juracek shoots and scores. Power play goal for Cechia, and they work the puck magnificently.
Yeah, that was great puck movement by the Czechs on that power play. The U.S. just couldn't find a way to get it out of the zone. And that one stings just a little bit more because of the fact that the penalty call, in my opinion, was a little questionable. But in any case, you have to be able to kill off the penalty, and it was just a great play by the Czechs. And Adam Juracek, whose brother David was drafted 5th overall in this year's draft, was standing on the back door and made no mistake about it.
So Juracek with a goal, making it a 2-0 game. Wraparound attempt by Park. Slid through the goal mouth, right along the goal line.
He just couldn't turn his stick blade enough to tuck it in.
Now the feed comes back. Sellers with a long shot that missed the left point. And the puck is cleared down the ice, and that's going to do it for the period. But a good period for Team Cechia. They score early and they score late. They score in the first minute, they score in the last minute. And those goals surround a shorthanded goal to the U.S. and the score after one. Cechia up 2-1.
And almost 2-2 on that wraparound from Park. But yeah, really good period from the Czechs to take the lead over Team USA. The U.S. will have to regroup in the locker room in a way they haven't had to in this tournament by being down a goal. So the U.S. still need to clean things up on the penalty front, because 5-on-5, they started to create more opportunities.
4 penalties in the period, too many for Team USA. So Cechia takes the lead into the locker room after 20 minutes of play. We will take a short break. We're going to visit with Dan Jablonec, the head coach of Team USA, and then we'll be back with the second period in a few moments, so stay with us. You are watching the U17 Five Nations Tournament on Hockey TV. Dan, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about this tournament?
About a 12 right now. No, this is something that from our staff and obviously our players, so excited to be part of this and having the opportunity to participate in this tournament in Colorado on our home soil in the U.S. With obviously players, families, and friends, and the support of USA Hockey behind us. We're incredibly excited for this opportunity.
You've had to put a group of 20 guys together in a relatively short amount of time. It's the summertime. How has this team gelled to this point?
Yeah, I think that's a challenge with every team coming into this tournament, finding a way to go from a group of individuals to a highly skilled team that needs to perform at their best in a short amount of time. So for us, it's been a process that we've cherished. We got the support from our program, the National Team Development Program coming in, and then obviously our national camps looking at these players and coaches across the country. So it just wasn't our staff as well. It a collective admin and really put a criteria together that what we wanted to see, how we wanted to play, and have that mold. With obviously when we look at our core values of what we want to be about, it's great teammate first, looking at that, how we really want to play, and we want kids that want to compete and obviously have the ability to make plays, and then learn as we go through it. It's a short tournament, a lot goes into that, and we want to make sure that we're learning as we go and getting stronger each day.
Dan, in the history of this tournament, the U.S. has pretty much owned it. 8 championships, playing on home ice for the 3rd time in this event. How much extra pressure does that put on your guys?
Well, I think I don't think it's pressure for us. I think it's just an added responsibility that's an opportunity for us, and we cherish that. Having great success in this tournament prior years, I think it's something for us to have those high expectations. We want that going into the tournament to make sure that we're playing obviously our best. And every year is a new year, right? Obviously, this is the 06 birth year, right? And when we look at that, and when you look at the other countries and what they're doing, and especially in the draft, Slovakia going 1 and 2 in the draft here, and competing. I mean, this isn't a given by any means. We respect everybody, but it's nice for us to come in with high expectations to make sure that now it's when the puck drops, we go earn that.
What do you know about the other 4 teams in this tournament?
We know a little bit more about the country, particularly the actual team and their staffs. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to look at them and have a scouting period for a couple of weeks or things like that. But we know the identity of their organizations. So it's something for us that we know that they're going to come here and compete and have a good time, and they're definitely respected how we play. I mean, it's going to be a fun tournament.
When you look at a short tournament, 4 games. Obviously, getting off to a good start is vitally important if you want to win this thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that we're looking at from the moment we got here on August 3rd. We want to look at from our practices. Now we just finished our 6th practice. We're trying to get stronger each day. That's what the tournament's all about. And there is small margin of error in this tournament and when you're playing the games that you're playing. So it's something that we want to make sure we're playing our best the 9th through the 13th. That's our goal, and that's what we're focused on.
The Europeans are used to playing on a bigger sheet of ice. How much of an advantage is it to play on an NHL sheet?
Well, I think for us, when you shrink, I think you're forced into making decisions a little bit quicker. It's something that we want to use that to our advantage and play as hard as that we possibly can. But I think for these countries coming in, they're highly skilled. They're smart hockey players as well, and for them, it's going to be somewhat a seamless transition for them and the way they want to play and their systems and their concepts. So I don't think there's just like in college hockey, there's teams that go back and forth from the big surface to the NHL size, and it's something that it's more about the execution and what you're trying to do within your team versus the actual ice surface.
How do you want your team to play in this tournament?
Well, that's something for us that, our team identity, what we're getting back to, right? We want to make sure that our game is, all these players are highly skilled, right? Like any country that comes in here, they're good hockey players, they're highly skilled. We want to make sure that we're using that skill to our advantage and playing as fast as we possibly can. So in simplest terms is playing as fast as we possibly can, playing as hard as we can on those pucks, and playing smart within that, making the proper reads as a team, not just a one-on-one play. We want to play as a collective unit.
Last thing for you, 3 guys on your team that we should be watching out for.
I'd say all 20. I'm not going to single out. I'm not going to single out just 3 players right now. Prior to the tournament here, every one of these players here was selected. For the reason to be part of this team, to go on this journey now and have this experience, to compete and have that opportunity for the gold. And so right now, I'm incredibly excited to have 20 players line up on tomorrow and compete for that opportunity.
Positions on your team.
Yeah, that's something we're starting to see, as you mentioned, when we first get going with the group to that high-performing team. We're seeing some kids that really kind of gel into that role, that get into that. So I think that's important for us to start to learn personalities a little bit, start to gel a little bit. There's some kids that are definitely stepping up for us as we go forward.
Well, the final game of this year's Five Nations tournament has proved to be, through 20 minutes at least, quite the contest. A tight checking, hard-hitting battle that has Cechia on top, a 2-1 score after 20 minutes. Ken Landau and Kyle Houston with you. And Kyle, that period was the toughest period of hockey for both teams that they've seen all week long.
Yeah, and it's exactly how you wanted the first period to start of a game, where it's going to determine who comes in first, who comes in second. On the U.S. side, they took too many penalties. That last one gave the Czechs the opportunity to score a power play goal, give them the lead. They'll have to clean that up. The Czechs had 2 backdoor goals, a 2-on-1, and then that backdoor pass on the power play. So the U.S., they're going to have to pick things up here in the second period.
Cechia came ready to play. They came storming out of the gate right off the opening faceoff as we take a look at the highlights of this first period. And Cechia wasted absolutely no time getting things started in the first minute of the game.
Yeah, it was a chip play that got past McLaughlin, and then Bales was playing the 2-on-1, but an excellent pass over, and Tittlebach was able to score. And then shorthanded, the U.S. was trying to kill off the penalty. Well, they did that and got a goal from John Stout to tie it up. There's one of the penalties for Team USA. They had some opportunities against Samuel Kowalczyk, but then the final power play opportunity for the Czechs ended up with their second goal. And as we look at some of the opportunities, but here is that goal. It was Adam Jiricek from the back door, able to put it past a sliding Caleb Hale. And a little bit of a dog pile for the Czechs. They're up 2-1. It's a spot the U.S. has not been in all tournament.
No question. We look at the stats, and Cechia was the better team overall in that first period. They took advantage of the 4 U.S. penalties. They outshoot the U.S. 12-8. And again, 4 penalties in that period for Team USA. We've talked about this, Kyle, since the start of the tournament. The U.S. has to stay out of the penalty box, and that is never more true than right now. They can't afford, throughout the final 40 minutes of this game, to keep parading to the penalty box.
No, absolutely not. And that last penalty, it was unfortunate because it looked like a clean hit. The officials saw otherwise and called a penalty, so you try to kill off that penalty. Well, the Czech power play has been very good. Now, when it's been 5-on-5, and it wasn't 5-on-5 for all that often in the first period, the U.S. was able to establish some offensive zone play and utilize their speed. That's where they were able to draw a penalty, get the power play for themselves. So the U.S. 5-on-5 is probably the better team in terms of the skill level, but it's not always a 5-on-5 game. You just got to make sure that you're disciplined.
There was approximately 8 minutes of 5-on-5 time in that first period, and that does a lot of different things. It disrupts your lines. It disrupts rolling lines out in the pattern that you like to. It disrupts your defensive pairings. It makes it difficult to find that rhythm, that play that you want, that consistent play that you want. When we start the second period at full and even strength for both teams, Kobiesa for Cechia pushes it deep into the U.S. zone. He'll swing it back to the blue line. Galvas sends it toward the net.
I think Galnor deflected that, and Hale had to make a stick save.
Jiricek over to Galvas. His shot is blocked. Hayden Park spins it up the far boards. Cechia does a fine job in terms of forechecking. They are relentless on the forecheck. They've pressured the U.S. like no one else in this tournament has to this point.
Yeah, they're getting pucks, or sticks at bodies rather, on Team USA, making it really difficult for the U.S. to break it out.
Zellers for the U.S. gets it a Cornforth centering pass. Into the slot, Stefanik couldn't get control. And Galvas comes out from behind his own net. He'll play it off the near boards out to center ice. McLaughlin gives it to De La Sala. De La Sala swings it around the boards. It goes over to the far corner. View gets it back to Bales. They'll push it back to De La Salle, View, and it comes out of the zone. Max Swanson injured in that first period. We'll keep our eyes open to see whether he makes a return. De La Salle plays it around the boards into the Cechia zone. Stefanik reverses it over to the far side. De La Salle sends it back to the line. Pittner, long wrist shot goes wide of the goal. McLaughlin works down the left side. The defenseman from Wisconsin loses the puck, and Koss will send it the length of the ice. View for the U.S. Talking with a member of Dallas View's family before the game. I mentioned that there are 2 seasons up there. Winter and 4th of July, that the ice had just gotten off the lake, and I was corrected. The ice melted about a month ago. A little more than a month ago.
I think that, you know, a month ago, that's still summertime, and still an insane time for the ice to be melted. I will say it's beautiful up there. I've never been there in the winter, and I've heard that there can be some huge snow drifts, but I was there in the summer, and man, it's a gorgeous spot up there.
It's not so nice in the winter.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Not so nice in the wintertime.
Got a pretty good college hockey program up there, though.
They sure do. They sure do. 3 national titles in the last 10 years or so. It's not too shabby.
No, not shabby at all.
And the puck sent into the U.S. zone, and a Cechia player goes down. And another player shaken up. Zielinski was injured early in the game after the John Stout goal, but he came back, and this player for Cechia seems to be okay. So he'll make his way off the ice.
Yeah, so Pittner is going in, and ooh, that's a scary play right there. It looked like maybe Glass just lost his footing a little bit before he made contact with Pittner, but it's one where you hope everybody comes up okay. And Glass just had to take a few minutes to just catch his breath a little bit.
So the U.S. brings it across the Cechia line. Carcone's pass broken up, and it's sent down the ice, and Kubiesa took a seat courtesy of, who was that, Park? No, that's Julian Brown.
Yeah.
Julian Brown said, hey, Mate, why don't you meet some of my buddies here? In the spirit of international friendship.
Yeah, they exchanged pennants before the game, and he said, you know what, I want you to meet a couple of friends. And that little shot from Kubiesa afterwards, nothing egregious about it. I think maybe a little bit more embarrassment than anything. Exactly.
Face off in front of the U.S. bench.
But that's what you can do when you're 6'3", 213 pounds, and that's Julian Brown.
And Kubiesa not quite that big, as he's 5'8", maybe 145 pounds, with rocks in his skates. And a long shot right in on Caleb Hale. He has seen 15 shots so far. And Vasilevsky. His pass broken up by Pilgrim. And jumping into the play. Huge hit there. We got a penalty call coming as McCausland took a hit up high. And we might get more penalties. Let's see.
They're calling a charge, and that was because it was a blindside hit up high. So here's the replay. Now Coslin has it. There was no intent at all to play the puck. His only intention, Svozil's there, was to make the hit. It was blindside, it was dangerous, it was up high, and so the U.S. will get the power play.
3 minutes 51 seconds, the time of the penalty to David Svozil, and that'll put the U.S. on the power play for the second time in the game. Park wins the faceoff. Stout gives it back to Park. Park feeds it down low. Pass comes right through the goal now to Pittner, but he couldn't handle the pass cleanly. Now Cornforth. Cross ice over to the right side. Long shot goes wide of the net, looking for the carom off the end boards. Pittner behind the net. Pittner, the defenseman, sends it back to the line. Cornforth back over to Pittner. Pittner out of the slot. His blast is blocked, and it will be clear.
Nobody can change for the Czechs. U.S. is moving the puck pretty well on this power play.
Now Stout, who has the lone U.S. goal, coming short-handed. Now Pittner sends it toward the net. Feed. Picked off out in front by Kubiesa, and he will backhand it down the ice. This is the period of the long change, so makes it more difficult for the penalty-killing team to get fresh skaters out. And the puck slid in behind the net. Centering pass for Zellers. He's shot. Doesn't make it through, and we are better than 5 minutes into the period. Still 2-1 Cechia. 35 seconds remaining in the U.S. power play. Here is McLaughlin going behind the net. Finn McLaughlin in the far corner. De La Salle gives it to Bales, back to De La Salle, then Bales again. De La Salle takes it off the left wing boards to Bales. One-time shot kicked out. View sends it back to the line. McLaughlin gives it back to Dallas View. View sends it out front. Nice stick work out in front by Cechia to break up that pass, because Bales was cutting down the weak side. He would have had a great opportunity.
Yeah, Yuri Klima with a really good stick.
And Cechia stopped at the U.S. line. Here comes the U.S. back the other way. Lead pass for De La Salle. Too far for him, and De La Salle goes sliding into the Cechia net. And now Cechia back the other way, 3-on-2. Koss, his pass broken up. Nice defensive play there. Koss gets it back, however. He shoots and scores. No, they're going to take a... Now, the Cechia thinks it went in. I believe it did.
Like the net moved. It hit off the post, and it looked like it rattled the net. The Czechs are celebrating as if they scored, but immediately the ref said, hey, I'm not 100% sure. Let's take a look at the replay.
So 6 minutes, 25 seconds, the time of the apparent goal by Andre Koss. So the officials will take a look at it. And usually the player's reaction is accurate. And both the Cechia players and the U.S. players reacted as if that puck indeed did go in. And it would have gone in top left corner.
So here's the replay. And a good overhead look. And
oh, yeah, that's a goal.
Yeah, that hit the net, and all it took was one replay to determine that. So it goes off the post and across into the net.
So Koss with the goal, and Cechia up by 2.
Well, that was a good sequence from the Czechs. They were going in on the attack, lost the puck momentarily, got it back, and then a great shot. So it was Kosh with the goal and gives the Czechs a 3-1 lead.
So the goal comes at 6:25 of the second period.
Team Cechia goal scored by number 20, Ambri-Piotta. Time of the goal, 6:25.
So Koss with the goal, and the U.S. definitely has some work ahead of it. Down by 2. This is unfamiliar territory for this U.S. team.
They have to make sure that they don't panic, don't get away from what's made them successful in the first 3 games of the tournament. And then just remember that you can't get 2 goals on 1 shot. You have to be able to just chip away, focus on getting 1 goal at a time.
I tried once to score 2 goals on 1 shot, and it just didn't work. Of course, the shot didn't go in the net, so that really made it difficult. Now here's an interception. De La Salle carries into the Cechia zone. Pass broken up. And Klima tried to get it out, but couldn't. Boswell tips it toward the goal. De La Salle. He's been quiet in the game so far. Stout steps around Tepley. His shot knocked down. And here comes Team Cechia. Bennett gets it over to Klima. He's going to send it through the slot, and now the U.S. has a chance coming back the other way. Drop pass for Carcone. Shot goes wide to the far side, to the near side. Carcone comes off the left wing boards with the puck. Carcone shovels it over to the left side. Pittner throws it out in front, looking for Buick. Buick tried the wraparound after he couldn't take the initial pass cleanly. But Kowalczyk was there to stop it, and Bales will pick it up back in the U.S. end. The U.S. picking up the pace here. Zellers ridden off the puck, and it will be chipped off the boards by Krall out to center ice. Lukas Krall then intercepts a pass, carries across the line. Koss tried to get it back to Krall, but he was taken down to the ice. And now here comes the U.S. in transition. Park. Here's Zellers calling for the puck, but the pass went behind him. And it's rolled around the boards over to the far side. Park's going to keep it alive. Tried to get it to Zellers, but the pass never made it through, and now Koss sends it deep into the U.S. zone. 11-11 to play in the second period. 3-1 Cechia. Spilka. Pass over to the left side for Dranchak. Here's Cechia on the attack. Centering pass, shot in the goal. Dranchak took a perfect feed, and it's 4-1 Cechia.
Another backdoor goal and a great play. Great forecheck and a good pass across.
9:14, the time of the goal, the second goal of the period for Cechia.
Dranchak just moves slightly to the back door and gets a little bit lost. So he's just drifting right to the top. Stick on the ice for the pass, a beautiful pass. And he was able to put it home.
Now here's Dallas View behind the defense. He shoots and scores. Oh, what a quick response from Team USA, and Dallas View does it the way they do it up in Hermantown, Minnesota. Showed some speed and then a laser shot to pull the U.S. back to within 2.
Dallas View has such a good shot, and he made no mistake about it when he got the puck. He goes over the glove hand of Samuel Kowalczyk. So here's View. Shortly after the Czech score, he goes top shelf.
11 seconds after Dranchak's goal, View scores for the U.S. to make it a 2-goal game.
And that is such a huge response for Team USA. You go down by 3 goals. And now they're going to take matching minors, it looks like.
Looks like Bobby Bartel's going off, and Svozil.
Well, what I was saying is the Czechs, they score that backdoor goal, they go up 4-1. A 3-goal lead is obviously very tough, but you respond right there, then you're back to where you were at with that mindset for Team USA, where you just have to focus on getting the next one, and then just keep on chipping away. We'll get 4-on-4 play here.
So we'll skate 4 aside for a couple of minutes. Bartel and Svozil in the box at 9:43. The next goal in this one will be critical as we approach the halfway point of the game. Zellers gets it back to the line. Long shot saved by Kowalczyk through a screen. And Cechia coming back the other way. Nice defensive play out in front of Caleb Hale. Zellers has trouble with the puck, can't get it out. And now puck comes right out in front. Oh, what great save. Play continues, no whistle. Finally, it's blown down. Hale thought he had it, but he didn't. And about 9 players sprawled onto the ice.
I think they might be calling for a penalty shot here. Yeah, they are. They must have deemed that a U.S. player covered the puck with their free hand in the crease. So here's the first great save by Hale. And I don't know why the whistle wasn't blown. Hale had it under him, and then they poked it away. The whistle should have been blown, but here's a penalty shot.
Penalty shot for Koss. Left-hand shot comes in on Caleb Hale. Shoots and scores. Koss with his second goal of the period. A penalty shot goal for Koss at 10:24.
He came in slow, a left-handed shot coming down the right side, and then a quick little move goes to the blocker side. That's one of the spots to save a puck against a left-handed shot is low blocker. So a great shot by Koss, and they get that lead back, and we have a change in goal now.
So goaltender change. Thatcher Bernstein comes in at the 10:24 mark.
Team Cechia goal scored by number 20.
So Cechia gets the 5th goal, its 5th goal, and they're back on top by 3. And now here comes Cechia 2-on-1. Bennett. It's the trailer. Shot goes right into the belly of Bernstein. And Bernstein likes that fact. He likes the idea that he's just gotten a shot within 10 seconds of him coming into the game.
Yeah, and though it was a 3-on-1, it was a shot that was right into his chest, and so he's going to like feeling that. And the U.S. is going to use this timeout to regroup.
Really nice crowd here in the building tonight for this championship game, the 10th game of the tournament.
A pretty good crowd for a Saturday.
Pretty good crowd for a Saturday in late summer.
Watching some international hockey. And while we have a moment, just want to shout out Athletics, obviously, for sponsoring the tournament, Hockey TV for providing the stream. And USA Hockey, specifically Matty Brown, the director of events, who's always so good at putting on events like this. But you know, all the media, Callie Birchfield, that's helping out with us. You know, it's not easy to put on a tournament and to put on 10 games over the course of this week, and it has gone so smooth. And I think that all of the participants have did with just a fantastic event.
No question about it. There are a lot of moving parts in an event like this. You have 5 teams, 4 of them coming over from foreign countries. You know, different cultures, different needs, different requirements that teams need. Moving into a building, getting control of the building, working with the building personnel, the university personnel here at Colorado College. A lot of things have to fall into place, and between the people at USA Hockey, the folks at Colorado College, the governing bodies of the various hockey federations that are involved here, and the city of Colorado Springs, everything is fallen into place perfectly. Now here's a chance for Zellers as he came down the left side, but he's stopped by Kowalczyk, who is playing very well.
14 saves for Kowalczyk. The U.S. shots, still 4-on-4 play right now.
Face off to the right of Kowalczyk. Cechia wins the draw. Now here's a long feed and a breakaway attempt. Shot and a save by Bernstein as he stops Gallnor away.
Great move by Gallnor. Great save by Bernstein.
Zellers pushes it into the Cechia zone. Here is Fibiger. Across the U.S. line, knocked away from him, and now the U.S. in transition coming back the other way. Puck comes back, here's a shot by Zellers that sailed over the net. He had Stout on the left wing, didn't see him, and now back the other way coming out of the box. Vosel with a shot that stopped by Bernstein, and he'll hold on.
Vosel snuck behind the defense. The way that the penalty boxes are set up, and the fact that it's the second period, he came right out, right by the blue line, kind of snuck out there. But a good save by Bernstein.
Play at the USA line as we are down to 8 minutes to play in the second period. Cechia with a 5-2 lead. If the U.S. is to mount a comeback here, they need at least one before this period is done. And we'll get an icing call here against Team USA.
Yeah, they absolutely need one before the period ends if they want to mount a comeback.
You need to kind of take the time. There's 7 minutes left, 7 minutes and change left in the period, plus 20, 27 minutes. Divide that by 3. So 1 goal every 9 minutes. Theoretically, that's the way you kind of need to look at it, assuming you can hold Cechia from scoring any more goals.
And that's been tough to do today. They've played very well and are capitalizing on a lot of the opportunities that they've earned.
No question. No question. They have been a physical team. They have moved the puck well. And now Tittlebach loses the puck, and here's a chance for Risto. Risto had a chance on the breakaway, but his backhander goes high and wide. Here comes Cechia back the other way. Crawl down the right side, trying to hit Tittlebach on the left wing. Couldn't get it to him. As we're playing a little fire wagon hockey here, end to end. At the Cechia zone. Jiricek, who scored the second goal of the game for Cechia, and it's played off the far boards. Carried back into the U.S. zone. Tepley, his pass broken up. Klima in the corner. Can't control Tepley, sends it toward the goal, knocked down. Here's a chance by Bennick. Bennick takes an elbow as he goes down to the ice. And what's the call here? High stick. Puck was played with a high stick. I think the U.S. dodged a bullet there because I think a penalty could have been called.
So a little fluttering puck knocked down in front. McLaughlin able to slide and get away, and
cross check.
Yeah.
But I think maybe the fact the player was falling down that, or just wasn't seeing one or the other.
Yeah, and it was in front of the net. They tend to let a little bit more go right in front of the net.
Schmerda has his shot blocked, and Cechia with pressure now. Galno gets it over to Curran. Curran trying to work it along the boards, but he forgot something, and that's the puck. And here comes Team USA. De La Salle in across the line, but Cornforth just ahead of the play on the left wing.
It's one of those timing plays where the gap is taken away by the Czech defenseman. Good job there. And then you're trying to keep your speed, keep 1 foot in the neutral zone. And that last little move by De La Salle, a little too much as Cornforth went offside.
Once again, Max Swanson, maybe the most dynamic player and playmaker certainly on this U.S. team, injured in the first period. And his absence has forced Dan Jablonec to really shuffle things up as Alex Bales rolls it in behind the Cechia net. Puck comes back to the blue line. Pittner with a shot goes through, and now here is Bales throwing to the goal mouth. Walczyk grabs that, and then one of the U.S. players gets dropped on his backside.
U.S. using a little bit of time here to talk about a play on the offensive zone. Well, Stefanik, a left shot forward. He's either going to walk or he's going to win it back to Cornforth and set up Brown for a one-timer, but the U.S. would have had to win that draw in order for one of those plays to happen. A little over 5 minutes left, and the U.S. desperately needs a goal in this second.
Brown lays out one of the Cechia players. That was Bennett, and now De La Salle steps into the Cechia zone. He'll sweep it around the boards as the U.S. changes on the go here. Puck comes back to the line. It's going to be wristed in behind the net. Jiricek has it taken off his stick by Carcone. Carcone centering pass broken up. And here's Bennett. Bennett will roll the puck in deep. Bernstein leaves it behind his own net. Long feed ahead. De La Salle offside call as De La Salle needed to be just a touch more patient in receiving that pass.
Yeah, and that's, again, one of those timing plays where you're going backwards. You think you know exactly where you are on the ice, but lose it just a minute, and you also have the thought in the back of your mind of, oh, if I get this, then I might have an opportunity to go on offense.
4:36 left in the second period. Cechia 5, USA 2. Here is Koss. He's got 2 goals. Clanged one off the outside of the post. Koss with a pair of goals in this period, and the second one coming on the penalty shot. Just past the halfway point of the second period. The 5th goal of the game for Cechia. Now Fibber comes out from behind the U.S. net. The defenseman kind of back there, but fortunate for him, he had the puck. And here's a pass broken up by Curran. And the U.S. looks a bit out of sorts right now.
Yeah, they do. The Czechs, credit them for the way they've played. And
check from behind. We're going to get a penalty call here, and Pittner would do well just to skate away.
Absolutely. And at first, I didn't see that official in the corner that made the call, and I thought they were going to let that go, but that was a clear penalty. And here's a perfect opportunity for the U.S. Though their power play has not been great this tournament, this would be the ideal spot for a goal, and this is a dangerous hit. Right along the blue line, Pittner facing the boards. And Kubiesa into the box.
So play for Team USA. Park, Cornforth, and Zellers up front.
Team Cechia penalty to number 14, the tie for Visa. 2-minute minor.
Stout and Pittner will work the points.
16-29.
Stout and View have the U.S. goals so far in this one. Zellers, cross ice pass, too hot for View to handle, or Stout to handle, excuse me. Zellers has it taken from him by Dranchak. Dranchak working down the right side, deep into the U.S. zone. Taken out of the play by Pittner. Pittner better be careful not to draw a penalty there, as he kind of had a leg lock on the Cechia player. Now Cornforth centers it. A couple of U.S. players out in front. Park got the pass over to Zellers. Probably one pass too many. Park had a better angle. He was right out in front and all by himself. The U.S. keeps it alive. Stout goes down below the goal line. He's thinking of a lacrosse goal, trying to get cute. Centering pass comes up the slot. McLaughlin over to the right side. Aiden Park. Park in the right circle. His shot hit the crossbar. Now Bales puts it in behind the goal. Zellers over to the right side. Park will send it back to the line. McLaughlin fakes the shot. Bales left circle. His shot kicked out by Kowalczyk. Rebound over to Aiden Park over on the right wing. 25 seconds left in the power play. Park feeds it down low to Zellers. Zellers plays it to himself off the corner board. Zellers tries the lacrosse goal, and these guys are all trying to do things individually here. McLaughlin with a blast. It's kicked out. Now pass comes out front. Cornforth from the doorstep is stopped by Kowalczyk. And that is a huge save by Kowalczyk. And the penalty has expired. Chechia's back at full strength. So two different U.S. players attempted the lacrosse-type goal. And that's best attempted when you have a 5-goal lead.
Yeah, and if there's nobody coming in on you, and they both had guys coming in.
Shot from the right side is knocked down. We're down to the final minute of the period.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute remaining in the period.
View had it not taken away from him. It's poked into the corner. Zellers goes after it. Make that Stefanik. Stefanik along the end boards, trying to work it free. Down to 40 seconds remaining in the period. It finally slips out of there, and Curran flips it ahead to Kubiesa. Kubiesa separated from the puck at center ice. And Stefanik gets it ahead into the Cechia zone. He's tied up. De La Salle down the right side. Backhand pass broken up. And we're down to 17 seconds to go in the period. And here comes Cechia on the attack. Pass comes right out front. Shot from close range, kicked out. Tepley stopped by Bernstein. And down to the final 5 seconds of the period. Klima has space. He lets go with a shot that Bernstein knocks aside. And there's the horn to end the period. But the U.S. has a tough task ahead of them. Down by 3 after 2 periods of play.
At the end of the second period, we have Team Cechia.
The Czechs played a very good second period, capitalizing on their opportunities. The U.S. on that last power play had a couple of good shots. Aiden Parks went off of the crossbar, but they were not able to capitalize, and they'll have some work to do. They need to stay 5-on-5 and maybe earn a couple more power plays in the third period.
So we've got a 5-2 game here after 2 periods of play. Cechia 20 minutes away from the Five Nations Tournament Championship, but the U.S. They won't go away quietly in the third. We'll take a break, come back with the third period in a few moments. You are watching the U17 Five Nations Tournament presented by Athletics on Hockey TV. Welcome back inside the Ed Robeson Arena. The final period is ahead of us for this year's Five Nations tournament presented by Athletics. Ken Landau and Kyle Houston with you. And the second period belonged to Team Cechia. They have a 3-goal lead heading into the third. And Kyle, Cechia did what they had to do in that third period. They capitalized on opportunities. They scored on a penalty shot. And the U.S. has a really difficult task ahead of them in the final 20 minutes.
Well, the U.S. certainly hasn't faced a team like this yet this week. Cechia is playing a very hard-nosed game. They're getting in on the forecheck. They're forcing turnovers. And like you said, Ken, they're capitalizing on their opportunities, which makes it a little bit difficult for Team USA, because then you feel like, okay, we can't make any mistakes at all because the Czechs seem to be cashing in on all of them.
No question about it. Let's take a look at the highlights from the second period. And the U.S. found themselves trying to come from behind to start the period, and they are further behind now as we take a look at the top plays from period number 2.
The U.S. did get some chances, but it was for the most part stopped by Kowalczyk. Here's a great play by Koss. His first of 2 goes over Caleb Heil's glove. Koss would then score on a penalty shot as well. And shortly after the goal from Dranchek, View comes down and goes top shelf with a fantastic shot, but then it was the penalty shot by Koss. Comes down and kind of freezes Heil and goes on the low blocker. That brought in Thatcher Bernstein. On the other side, Samuel Kowalczyk making all the stops he needs. And there's a bounce that just didn't go the way of Team USA. You saw earlier, the puck went off the post and into the net for the Czechs, but Parks just went off the crossbar and out.
So as we look at the stats from the period, we look at where we're at. Shots on goal, 28-22 for Team Cechia. 3 penalties in the period against Team Cechia, but the U.S. unable to capitalize on the power play. So special teams hurting the U.S. in this one. And of course, we had the goaltender change at the 10:24 mark of the period after the penalty shot, and Bernstein was fine. Offensively, Team USA needs to find a spark. They were trying to get a couple guys, tried lacrosse or Theo Kiss type goals, tried shots. They both failed. And this is the time to try that stuff. You don't want to get too fancy. You just need to put pucks on net.
I think that might have been a case of just gripping the stick a little too tight and everybody feeling like, I need to be that guy. Well, you need to play as a unit of 5 when you're on the ice and chip away at this 3-goal lead. Keep it 5-on-5, get your speed going and your skill going.
Stay within your systems and trust the coaches, trust the system, and you'll be able to get back into this game. So we're underway here in the third, and again, Cechia with a 3-goal lead. Here comes Team Cechia on the attack. Current into the U.S. zone. His shot sails way high and wide of the net. Galnor tries to come out of the corner. Puck comes off the side of the net, right out in front. And Koss knocked down to the ice after his shot. Koss with 2 goals in the game. Buick gets it out to center. Fibiger. And now it's driven right back in. It's the wrong end of the ice to try to come back from. Stefanik gets it ahead to View. View, however, had it come off his stick momentarily, and that causes the offside play. Again, Max Swanson injured in the first period. We have not seen him come back.
Yeah, tough hit against Swanson right along the blue line by that Bauer and Athletics sign at the middle to top of your screen. And Swanson is a dynamic playmaker. The U.S. has certainly missed him. You got to have kind of that next man up mentality, and the U.S. just hasn't been as sharp as the Czechs in this game.
Exactly. Carcone over on the left wing boards, plays it around over to the near side. Pittner sends it toward the net, blocked her down by Kowalczyk. Here come the Czechs. Bennett, his pass broken up by Pilgrim. Pilgrim gives chase, kicks it free, and now Bartel across the red line. Hands it off over on the left side. Long shot, that handcuff Kowalczyk off the stick of Alex Bales, back to the line, and Brown with a big blast, but Kowalczyk saw that and made the save.
By Kowalczyk, Brown fired that puck, and Kowalczyk got a little lucky that he didn't give up a rebound, but it was a great save as a Czech player limps gingerly off the ice. That's Tepley. The U.S. has an opportunity in the offensive zone here. Stefanik is going to play with that top line right now of View and De La Sala. They're rotating that center. As we mentioned, Swanson has not returned since that hit in the first period.
Stefanik won the draw, but the U.S. can't contain the puck in the Cechia zone, and they'll have to regroup. Just over 2 minutes gone in the third period. Cechia with a 3-goal lead. Kowalczyk plays it around the boards, and it will slide out of the zone. Put back to the line. De La Sala, his shot right into the chest of Kowalczyk, and he'll hold on to it.
I think you're going to see a ton of shots from the U.S. In other situations in this tournament, they might have passed it, but really you have to get a lot of pucks towards Kowalczyk. You might beat him, you might force a rebound, but get those pucks to the net and follow up with the rebound.
Got to keep those shots a little lower, though. Make him kick it out or make a stick save where you've got an opportunity for a rebound.
And sometimes 18 inches or so off the ice is kind of the sweet spot because it makes it a little difficult for a goalie. If they butterfly, it's a little over their pad, and they think about, what am I going to do with that?
Play in the U.S. zone. Svozil wrists it in on Bernstein, who makes the glove stop and drops it to keep play going.
I don't know why there wasn't an icing call, and Dan Jablonec was barking at the linesman, wondering the same thing.
Now Aiden Park carries into the Cechia zone, but he spun off the puck in the far circle. And here comes Cechia. Crawl down the left side, Crawl with a shot, save, rebound, cleared out of the slot. And now the U.S. in transition. Here's Cornforth up the right side, into the Cechia zone, try to feed it down the slot. And the centering pass from Zellers comes all the way back into the U.S. zone. 3.5 minutes gone in the period.
Cornforth, instead of staying on his strong side, went to his backhand.
Now right corner of the Cechia zone. Defensemen are going to pinch. Cornforth in the left corner. Cornforth comes out with the puck. Knocked off his stick and out of the zone.
Good stick by Tepley. And he's back on the ice after coming off the ice a couple of minutes ago, a little slow.
Puck skips past Brown at center ice. It'll go deep into the U.S. zone. Buick. Connor Buick's folks are here. They've been in town all week, a little more than a week. Brown gets it to McCausland. McCausland gets it to the line, but it's kicked back out to center. Julian Brown sends it back to Buick. Buick sends it to the open left wing. And it's cleared back out to center ice, where Brown will send it across the Cechia line. Team USA needs to get the puck in deep and chase after it if they can't gain the zone on the rush. McLaughlin looking ahead for De La Sala. It was the right pass, but De La Sala couldn't take it cleanly. Now here's a chance for McLaughlin. His shot is blocked. De La Sala taps it back to Bales at the line. Bales gets it to Bartel. Bartel back to McLaughlin. His shot missed the net. Rebound over to Bales on the right side. De La Sala behind the net. De La Sala comes out on the left side. Andrew De La Salle gives it over to Bales. Bales with a shot, and that's grabbed by Kowalczyk, and he'll hold on with 14:41 remaining in the period.
Best shift of the period so far for Team USA, and you follow that up with Aiden Park, Pilgrim, and View with an offensive zone face-off. Bartel was almost able to get a stick on that shot. Here's the shot from Bales. Bartel was coming across, and so was Stefanik. Neither was able to deflect it, but a good shot from Bales, and now an opportunity for Team USA to build upon that shift.
5.5 minutes into this third period. Cechia with a 5-2 lead over Team USA in the championship game of this U17 Five Nations tournament. Aiden Park goes behind it. Centering pass comes back to the line. Stout gets it over to the left wing boards. The shot goes well wide of the net, and the rebound's going to carry him all the way back down to the U.S. zone. Pittner spins it up the left wing boards. Here comes the U.S. into the attacking zone. View with a shot that's blocked. Klima chips it over to the far boards, and then on the second effort gets it out of the zone. Back down to the Cechia line, and it's rolled back into the Cechia zone. McLaughlin retreats back into his own zone, gives it to Buick. Buick sends it ahead to center ice, but Bennick picks that off. And Bennick will flip the puck into the U.S. zone. Cornforth skates his way up across center ice. Into the Cechia zone. Wheels it around the boards and skips past Helinski. Now scramble for the puck. It comes right out in front. Nobody there in a blue U.S. jersey. And here comes Cechia on the attack. Dronchak with a shot that's gloved by Bernstein. He'll hold on.
McLaughlin jumped up trying to steal a puck, and Dronchak was able to move right past him and does a good job. Had to go across his body. Bernstein out at the top of the crease. Coming off the angle a bit and down.
Face off to the right of Thatcher Bernstein. Bartel steps in to take the draw, but Curran wins the face-off for Cechia. Galvas sends it cross ice. Juracek with a shot. Flex just wide of the net. Now Curran behind the net, centering pass broken up. Nice stick work out there by Alex Bales. And the puck's lifted into the U.S. bench. .44 remaining in the third period. Cechia scored in the first minute and the last minute of the first period, sandwiching a John Stout goal, and it was a 2-1 game after 20 minutes. 3 Cechia goals in the second period, including a penalty shot goal at 10:24, and Cechia has a 3-goal lead. And here they come on the attack. Glass plays it off the end boards into the U.S. zone. Spilka gives it away in the corner. Pittner finds McCausland. McCausland slowed down at center ice. Hands it off to Park. Park down the left side, rolls it in on net. Kowalczyk gathers that puck after he made the initial stop, and he'll hold on to it for a face-off.
The U.S. is going to need to push a little bit more, play with a little more desperation, and maybe take a few more chances that you wouldn't normally early on in the game. You got nothing to lose, down by 3.
Exactly.
If you turn the puck over and the Czechs come back and score, it's no harm, no foul, really, at this point.
Long pass, missed toss, but it slides right in on Bernstein. Getting back to that second pit, Kyle, you look at the flurry of goals. You had 3 goals scored in 1 minute and 10 seconds, including the penalty shot goal. And from that point forward, Cechia has really been able to kind of clamp down a bit on the U.S. The U.S. unable to really generate much offense. They had that one sequence here in this period where they had certainly puck pressure and moved the puck well, but second shots have been tough to come by for the U.S. in this game. And they're going to have to find a way to generate more offense. They do have 28 shots on goal. Now Stout, his pass goes off the skate. Cornforth pushes it ahead. Zellers can't handle it cleanly, and it's going to be lifted back into the U.S. zone. Tittleback's going to pick it up on the left side. Tittleback got a man out in front. The pass was in his skates. And now Tepley fans on a shot, and here comes the U.S. back the other way, but a little miscommunication. Now comes over to Park. His shot stopped by Kowalczyk. 9 minutes gone in the period, and time becoming a real factor here for Team USA. Down by 3 with 11 minutes to play. Bennick in the near corner of the U.S. zone. He overskated the puck. Now Galvas with a steal. Galvas goes into the left wing corner. The defenseman, who seems to play as much below the opponent's goal line as he does back behind his own net.
He's been all over the ice all week long.
Here's Cornforth up to the Cechia line. The puck swept off his stick. He'll pick it up, however, behind the net. Cornforth over on the left side. Cross ice pass. Goes off the stick of De La Salle. He'll gather it back in and get it back to the line for Pittner. Pittner swings it in behind the net off the stick of De La Salle. And Galvas has it. There he is, spotted beneath his own goal line. And it's going to be sent the length of the ice, but there will be no icing on the play. Under 10 to play in the period. Cechia 5, US 2. Now De La Salle sends it into the slot. Bartel pokes it below the goal line. It's pushed away from De La Salle. Pinching in on the near side was Pittner, but he couldn't get to the puck, and it's going to be lifted down to this line. View. It's clanged hard off the far boards by Bales. Bales puts Kubiesa down to the ice. And Kubiesa will chop it off the stick out of play. They'll have a face off the neutral zone, not before they come out and clean the ice up just a little bit.
Yeah, under 10 minutes to go, and the U.S. will need to regroup, get some rest. And they need a goal here in quick fashion if they want to make this comeback. It's going to be tough regardless, but they'll need to really hustle on the scoring front right off the bat.
No question about that. So 9:19 left in the period. There's been no scoring in this third period. Shots are 32-29 in favor of Team Cechia.
As we see some fans in the stands, another good crowd today. I'm going to watch the finale of this Athletics U17 Five Nations tournament.
So they've scraped some snow off the ice, and we're ready to get back at it here with 9:19 left in the period. And Cechia trying to do something no one has done in this tournament, in this country, and that's beat the U.S. on home soil. And for Cechia, if they can pull that off, they will host host the tournament next year. So they would be the defending champions going into next year's tournament on their home soil.
Just like the U.S. did this year, after winning last year in Switzerland.
And Cechia will lift the puck down into the U.S. zone. It's remaining in the third period. And regardless of the sport, it is never easy to come from behind. Especially when you're behind by a sizable margin. Galnar gets it over to Kubiesa. His shot kicked out by Bernstein.
Good save by Bernstein, and a much-needed save for Team USA. Bernstein's been really solid since he's come in.
Fibiger, his shot blocked by Bartel, and that stung him. Bartel is down, and he'll try to hobble his way off the ice, and he does as play continues. Now here's a giveaway. Polenski over on the far side, and it's chipped out to center ice, but driven right back into the U.S. zone by Krall. Brown works it around the board. Sellers can't get to it. Battle for the puck corner. It squirts free, and we've got a whistle and penalties coming here with 7:36 to play. And Koss is going to go to the box for roughing.
Well, it's not a good penalty for Andre Koss. It was really a frustration penalty. They were battling in the corner. When you're up by 3, 7:35 to go, you don't want to give any sort of momentum to the U.S. Bernstein, I was wondering about this. Was he going to come off the ice? Were they going to make it a 6-on-4? And they will. And this is the right play. You're down by 3. You desperately need a goal. If they ice it and get in the net, so be it. But give yourself as good of an opportunity as you can to score a goal and chip away at the lead.
And the U.S. wins the face-off to get things started. Here's a blast rebound attempt for Zellers, and that's stopped by Kowalczyk. A couple of saves by Kowalczyk. So 6 skaters out there for the U.S. 6-on-4 with the extra attacker on the ice for Team USA. And the puck is work free. USA controls. McLaughlin works it along the blue line. His shot tip, it goes in. The U.S. scores on the power play, a tip in, and a power play goal for Team USA, and it's a 2-goal game.
You know what? I think
it went in off a Cechia stick.
Exactly. McLaughlin, he fired it from the point, and immediately after it went in, the U.S. teammates were pointing right at McLaughlin. I think it goes off of Galvis. Yep, Galvis was trying to deflect it away, and it was a perfect tip if you were trying to score on that net. So the play of bringing Bernstein, pulling Bernstein, going 6-on-4, worked out perfectly to plan. The U.S. scores early on the power play. And Koss, he is hoping that his team can hold on because, again, that was not a good penalty.
So now it's a 2-goal game with 7 minutes to play. So McLaughlin gets the goal. Bales gets the lone assist for Team USA. Now the U.S. has to continue pressuring the Cechia net.
Yeah, get pucks and bodies to the net. You saw what happens when you throw the puck there. It doesn't even have to deflect off your own guy to go into the net. There's definite life now in this Team USA team. They felt like they were getting stoned by Kowalczyk and the Czechs.
Now chance for Cechia, but Klima about 6 feet offside. He just couldn't stop. Got a little excited there on the possible 2-on-1 breakaway.
Little Luis Mendoza skating so fast, but couldn't stop.
I never had that problem.
The stopping or the skating fast?
The skating fast part. Stopping wasn't a really good part of my skating either. That's why the boards were there, or other bodies out
Right,
there.
yeah.
Figure you could always find somebody to skate into. At least slow you down a bit.
Yeah.
Play at the U.S. line. Buick gets into McCausland. McCausland ahead to Carcone. Carcone down the right side. Sends it out in front. Kept alive. Rolled back to the line, but nobody there for Team USA.
Yeah, the Team USA defensemen are really getting into the play in the offensive zone.
Approaching 6 minutes to play in the period. Here's McLaughlin. Comes out from behind his own net. Finn McLaughlin's pass picked off by Galvas. Galvas hands it off. Curran puts it into the near corner of the U.S. zone. And it will come over to McCausland. He'll swing it off the boards. Galvas picks it up. Walks down the left side for Team Cechia. He's ridden off the puck. Kubiesa lost the puck, and now we're down to 5.5 minutes to play in the third period. Puck goes the length of the ice. Icing will be negated. And here's Koss coming back the other way. Koss sends a backhander that rattles around the boards. He'll get it back in the left corner. Crawl sends it back to Fibiger. Fibiger with a long shot, knocked down by the blocker of Bernstein. Fibiger again. Cross ice, long shot, knocked down out in front. Loose behind the net. Crawl has it. Under 5 to play. Here's a shot circled by Crawl that's stopped by Bernstein. Kept in at the line by Cechia. Fibiger. His shot is blocked. Schmerda keeps it in. He'll play it around the wall over to Crawl. Crawl along the near side. Pinned along the boards. He's more than happy to pin it there and let time run off the clock. It squirts free, and Stout gets it over to De La Salle. Back to Stout. Stout gets it over to Buick. Back to Stout. He has some space, and now he'll turn it up ice. De La Salle has it come off his stick. Bernstein's to the bench with 4:18 to play in the period. Bernstein goes back out onto the ice. And Pittner shovels it ahead with 4 minutes to play. Here's Cornforth coming across the line. Pittner will keep it in at the blue line. Now Bernstein's on the bench. It's loose in the slot, poked out of there. Kept alive by the U.S. Here's a chance for Team USA. Cornforth had it poked away from his stick just as he was ready to fire a shot, and the rolling puck heads toward the net. It goes just wide of the right post. That's a break for the U.S. Bales gets it over to Bartel. 3.5 to play. The U.S. needs 2, but they can only get 1 at a time. Cornforth, right circle. Leaves it for Park. Back over to Cornforth. Cornforth in the corner. Tries to get it to Bartel. It's poked up the boards. Kept in the zone by Bales. His cross-ice pass picked off by Kubiesa. Kubiesa gets it ahead, and a shot is blocked. Kubiesa will pick it up, and his shot goes just wide of the net. 3 minutes to play.
U.S. is getting helped by a couple of empty net opportunities going wide.
Now Cornforth up his off wing into the Cechia zone. He'll swing it off the end board. Zellers can't get to it. Now Zellers gives it a Park. Park sends it toward the side of the net. Zellers swings it back toward the line. McLaughlin. McLaughlin over to Stout. His shot. Puck is loose. Shot to goal. Zellers. Zellers scores from deep in the right circle to make it a 1-goal game with 2:31 to play. Will Zellers with his 6th goal of the tournament. Make that 7th goal of the tournament.
Perfectly executed play. It goes from D to D. McLaughlin over to Stout. Stout, he does such a good job up at the point of being deceptive. Faking the shot, moving it to get that shot lane open. He fires the puck, which he can do so well from up top. And then Zellers able to corral it and go top shelf. The U.S., they have so much momentum right now. The Czechs take a timeout and 2:31 left. We talked about the U.S. just needing to chip away at the. We have to get one at a time. We can't get 3 on one shot. Well, now they have an opportunity to tie it up with just one shot.
2 minutes, 31 seconds to play. Will Zellers with the goal to pull the U.S. to within 1.
Team USA goal scored by number 10, William Zeller, assisted by number 16.
Here's another look at the opportunities for the U.S. There was McLaughlin with the goal to make it 5-3. That one went off of the stick of Galvis. That was with the goalie pulled. This one was with the goalie pulled as well. The other one was a 6-on-4. This was just 6-on-5. But the U.S. have the Czechs on their heels.
So 2:31. It's not a huge amount of time, but it's not too little time. On the other hand, Bernstein's back in the net, at least for now. Pittner will get it over to the left wing boards. Pass intended for Park. He was looking to go through the defense. He'll flip it right in on Kowalczyk, and that's a smart play right there. Throw it in on Kowalczyk. Maybe he's rattled a little bit. You don't know if he'll mishandle the puck, but at the very least he'll grab it and he'll face off in the Cechia zone.
And you get an offensive zone face off. Bernstein comes to the bench. Well, everybody's coming to the bench. Team USA took a timeout. I thought initially they were going to pull Bernstein for the face-off, and you get one timeout a game. I think this is a great spot for Dan Jablonec and his staff to draw up a play. It's Nick Oliver that's going to be drawing up the play for the U.S. 2:13 to go. This has been an absolutely fantastic finale to the Athletics Five Nation tournament. The two top teams, both undefeated going into this game at 3-0, meeting in the finale. Good crowd on hand. Summer hockey in Colorado Springs.
Václav Eisman trying to settle his team down, telling them what he wants them to try to do on the face-off. And you talk to your team about 2 situations. 1, winning the face-off. 2, what happens if you lose the face-off.
Park's going to try to win it back to Zellers to try to get it over to Pittner.
And he does just that. Pittner sends it toward the net. It goes off the skate wide. U.S. net is empty. Stout gets it down low on the left side. Puck comes right through the goal mouth. Bartel couldn't get a stick on it. Now Pittner throws it into the slot, and it's going to be tapped ahead. And here's Curran. He's got an empty net, and it goes off the stick of Stout wide of the goal. So Stout getting his stick in the way might have preserved the opportunity to tie this game for Team USA. Now Bartel steps across the line. Wrist shot just missed to the right post. Cornforth trying to chip it down the boards on the far side, and it's going to be sent the length of the ice. Icing call here against Cechia with 1:28 seconds to play.
Yeah, remember, on a 6-on-5, you can't ice it. Even though you're a man down, it's just the fact that the goalie was pulled. So earlier on the 6-on-4, now the Czechs are going to try to do a little bit of gamesmanship.
Need to tie my skates up, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. They'll be told clearly how much time they can take. The U.S. wins another face-off. 1:20 to play. Here's De La Sala on the left side. The U.S. needs a goal to tie. McLaughlin gets it over to Bales. His flex wide of the net. Carcone keeps it alive. De La Sala gets it back to McLaughlin. Back to De La Sala, top of the left circle. His shot deflects wide of the goal. Carcone gets it to De La Sala. Over to the left point. Here's McLaughlin. Back to De La Sala. Into the high slot. Tap back to McLaughlin. Long wrist shot goes just wide of the net. Kept alive on the near side. 48 seconds left. Bales gives it over to the right side. Now here is McLaughlin. Long wrist shot is knocked down out in front. Comes over to Cechia, and they're going to clear. Well, it goes off McLaughlin, but comes right over to the near side. Fibiger has an empty net. He puts it in, and that should do it. Fibiger with an empty net goal to make it 6-4.
Yeah, the comeback effort for Team USA is going to fall just short, it looks like. After being down 3 goals late, the puck bounces and Fibiger just gets the red line, makes a smart play and gets the red line just in case he missed. Wouldn't have been an icing.
Jakub Fibiger sends it in from the red line, and I think what they're talking about over there is how much time there should be on the clock.
Well, initially it said 28 seconds, and now it says 26.9.
Well, they'll leave 26.9 on there, and we're back underway. The U.S. is still empty. Now Pittner, long shot through a screen, stopped by Kowalczyk, and he'll hold on. 16 seconds left.
Well, the U.S. will get an opportunity in the offensive zone and really need to fire a quick shot and hope for a quick goal. Otherwise, they're just going to run out of time. In all likelihood, it's going to be the Czechs raising the trophy.
And the puck lifted in on Kowalczyk. He'll glove it and hold on.
Now the face-off will go to the other side. Can't fault the effort of Team USA late in attempting this comeback.
No question about it, but they dug themselves way too deep a hole. As the time will roll off the clock, and Cechia upsets the U.S. And they are the 2022 U17 Five Nations Tournament champions. As you see the dog pile there in the Cechia zone, and that's a very happy group of young men. And congratulations to Team Cechia. What a great effort from them today. They were not intimidated. They were certainly confident in their abilities, and it showed right out of the gate. They scored in the first minute of the game, Kyle, and they never let up from that point forward.
No, they didn't. They played a fantastic game, the exact kind of game you need in order to win a title, win a championship. And so for them, they played an outstanding tournament right from the first game, where they held on to beat the Swiss and then just rolled through there. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to both teams on a very well-played tournament. Nothing to hang your head about if you're Team USA. You played your hearts out, and Team USA will finish second here in Colorado Springs.
And the national anthem of Cechia to be played here at the Robeson Arena. So the national anthem of Cechia has been played, and now we'll get the trophy presentation.
To present the first place trophy for the 2022 Athletics U17 Five Nations Tournament, please welcome to the ice Athletics co-founders Robert Novotny and Jan Raymond, and USA Hockey Executive Director Pat Kelleher. Would the Team Cechia captain please come to accept the first place trophy?
And Mate Kubiesa will accept the tournament championship trophy.
Thank you for attending tonight's Athletics U17 Five Nations Cup matchup between Team USA and Team
So Cechia,
Thank you and
a
have a great
6-4 winner. And for the first time ever, Team USA fails to win the tournament title on their home ice.
And the first time that team has defeated in any game on home ice, USA. They'll shake hands, and you know, again, these were the top two teams in the tournament from the very start, and they gave fans here and fans watching on Hockey TV a very exciting finale.
So the fans were treated to a great game, no question about it. Certainly fans of the USA disappointed, but you know something, these are the kind of moments that certainly all these players will remember. They'll be better for it on both sides, and certainly great disappointment on the US side, but for Team Cechia, congratulations to them, a great effort. And they came ready to play, and they jumped on top of the U.S. in the first minute, and they never took their foot off the gas. Even when they were pressured in the third period, they give up the 2 goals. The U.S. gets to within 1. They still stayed with it as we take a look at the highlights of this third period. And it was a 5-2 game heading into the third. And then the U.S. certainly knew that they had to get out there and really scramble to get back into this one. Kowalczyk was strong in net, always in great position. Thatcher Bernstein the same with him as he came on in the second period to replace Caleb Hale. And there's the goal that made it a 1-goal game, a 5-4 game with the U.S. net empty, and then Fibiger with a smart play to carry it up across the red line before shooting it into the empty net. And Team Cechia, a 6-4 winner over Team USA to win the 2022 U17 Five Nations Tournament title.
And they get a well-deserved celebration on the ice, and you know, for these kids, they might not play together again, and so they'll always have this memory together, winning this tournament. I just want to reiterate what a well-run tournament this was, and how great the hockey was throughout the entire week.
No question about it. Thanks to the title sponsor of the event, Athletics, and everyone involved.